Alright guys, so at the moment land preparation is going on, so let me just point out exactly what's happening. Of course, you know the bed's going to be 3 feet wide, which means from over there to here should be 3 feet wide. Alright, and going up 15 feet long. Alright, so you should note the card line, which is that white card. We first measure out the plot with the white card, right? And that is to make sure that when the plowing is going on, we follow the card line as a guide. All right, so what is really happening now is primary tillage, and that is the first breaking of the soil. All right, now with primary tillage, you will always have large lumps of soil in large lump of soil. But what happened, as you notice, this is a greenhouse, so it is extremely dry and the soil is mostly in smaller lumps. All right, but nonetheless we still would have to do secondary tillage, which is refining of the soil. And to help to do that, we also going to wet the soil. So as you can see, primary tillage is being done at the moment. So after that we are going to wet the soil and then do secondary tillage. All right, so what we intend to do is to plant pop choy in these plots. So we're going to create 2 plots for the pop choys. In that plot we're going to use organic fertilizer. So we're going to incorporate rabbit manure in that bed. However, we're going to create another bed over that side of the greenhouse, and we're going to use inorganic fertilizer on the pop choy. So we're basically doing an experiment. All right, so as you know, land preparation is getting the land ready for planting, and as you can see, one of the method is lining, where you use the card line to measure out the plot, and also you will have plowing, which is called tillage. So we're going to do in land preparation, we're going to do both primary and secondary tillage, irrigation of the soil, and we're going to incorporate the manure into the beds, into that bed over there, and then over here we're going to incorporate the inorganic fertilizer. All right guys, so finished with that side of the bed, we're going to move to the other bed, the inorganic bed. All right, so we're going to do the lining note of the bed, so it will be 3 feet wide. All right, so you need a peg to mark the spots. So you're marking out the 3 feet. 3 feet will be marked out now using the pegs and the tape measure. All right, so that's a 3 feet wide width of the bed. All right, so the bed is lined out with the cord line to give you neatness. So that's one of the reasons for using the cord line. You want to make sure that your beds are accurate and neat. All right, so you wrap the cord line around both sticks, and then all right, so it's 3 by 15, so use the tape measure to measure out the 15 feet, and then you peg it where the 15 feet stops. All right, and you make your peg. fasten your peg. Then you're going to measure the next 3 feet width. Measure the next 3 feet. Then insert the peg in the soil at that 3 feet measurement point. Alright, so importantly, you should ensure that the cord line is stiff as possible, because you know it is used as a guide, and if it's not stiff, then you would miss the line. The cord line will be easy to move out of place. Alright, so you make the final tie on the cord line, and then what will be done after is primary tillage of the second bed. Alright, so please note the use of the fork. So you start at the lower part of the, start at one end and you turn your back to the other end. So you insert the fork, this using your body weight. So insert the fork in the soil using your body weight, and then you pull back the handle to get the soil up. Now we all know the reasons of land preparation and tillage. When the soil is tilled, you allow more air to pass through it, which is good for the growth of the plants. Alright, so you'll have more oxygen and the roots will be easier to take up roots from those soil particles when they are broken up as well. We will continue until the bed is finished plowed. Please stay tuned. We're going to look at the incorporation of the manure and the irrigation of the beds to soften the beds. Alright guys, so the second bed has finished plow. Well, the primary tillage is finished plow. Now as you can see, the soil is in large lumps, so soon we have to move to secondary tillage. However, before we go to that, we are going to incorporate the manure first and the fertilizer, then we do the secondary tillage. So here we have the NPK fertilizer. Right, you see white grains, red grains, and brown grains. And here we have the rabbit manure. Alright, it's fully broken down. So in that bed we're going to spread the rabbit manure and incorporate it, and over here we're going to spread the inorganic, the NPK fertilizer, and then incorporate. Alright, to do that we're going to use an hand shovel. Alright Jason, so sprinkle the rabbit manure as much as possible to cover the bed. Alright, so the hand shovel is being used to sprinkle the manure on the bed. So some things to be done is that we're going to label these beds. So we're going to have labeling to work on, and also the drip system to set up. Alright, so in a short while we're going to move and just incorporate the inorganic fertilizer in that bed over there. Alright, so we're going to move to the spot over here. Broadcast and sprinkling the fertilizer in the bed. All right, so we're going to move to irrigation. So we're going to wet the bed so it can be tilled easily. It is now going to be easy to incorporate the manure and the fertilizer. So we're going to irrigate the beds. All right. All right. So the A fart now we'll use to incorporate the manure and help in secondary tillage. Go. All right. So meanwhile, incorporation is going on. The soil is breaking even finer. At this stage also, we try to remove all the plant roots that can regrow from the bed. We try to remove them. Move it over to the next bed. So machete will be used to help break the larger lumps. Alright guys, so today we will demonstrate transplanting. Of course, we already did some transplanting. So we run the line, turn on the drip line, the water will mark the spots, and then we would transplant. Alright, so today we're going to demonstrate to you how transplanting is done. Alright. So before we do the demonstration, let's define transplanting. Transplanting is basically the removal of seedlings from the nursery and then taking them out in the field. Alright, in this case, the area that we're going to do the transplanting is in a greenhouse, and the nursery that we're going to use, that the seedlings are in, is the seed tray. Alright, the seed tray, what we do, we use peat moss, and then we set the peat moss, we set the seeds in the peat moss and take care of the seedling in a nursery. Alright, so with the demonstration of transplanting, you need tools like hand shovel. That's the hand shovel right there. Alright, so in doing the transplanting, what we do is to dig the hole. So we'll find the spot where the water is, or where the drip line hole is, and we already removed the seedlings for easy for more efficiency. So we remove the seedlings, some of them already from the seed tray. So after you put the seedling in the hole, you press around the seedling to get away the air from the roots of the plants. The air will dry out the seedlings, so we want to squeeze the soil firm around the seedling so the water will remain on the roots and the seedlings won't wilt. Alright, that one look damaged. Yeah. Alright, so with pop choys they are easily forgiving, so even if they break and you transplant and take care of them, they will still grow back. Alright, just let me show you how to take out a seedling. So just to show you how we remove a seedling from the seed tray. So what you do is to squeeze up the bottom. Squeeze up the bottom to loosen the soil, and then you pull it out. These seedlings were partially grown indoor in a house, so that's why they grow too tall. So you loosen up the soil from underneath and then you take them out. When it's loosened, you pull it out. Alright, so that you divide that in two. Cases where you have two seedlings, you just simply divide them into. Now the time of day that is best to do transplanting is when the sun is going down in the afternoon. Alright, if you're going to do them in the morning or throughout the day, you make sure you wet the seedlings, and also that's before, if you can wet the land before, and also what you do is shading. So you can use tree branch to do shading, or you can just pull a shade cloth over the seedlings to keep down the sun. After a few days, these seedlings, when the roots are well established, they will not quail any at all. They will just be growing. All we have to do is to just keep watering and so forth. Alright guys, thanks for viewing. I'll keep you updated with all the activities in terms of care and management of these seedlings.